minutes or so is mortarboard and governance basics. So we are one of the only student-governed societies in the entire country, and your voice matters, right? So this is why this is important. And a lot of us probably have experience in governance in various organizations on our campuses, whether it be fraternities, sororities, other honor societies, other organizations that we're a part of. So this is probably not new to a lot of you. What I want to explain is why you should care. And again, that's because you are the voice of Mortarboard. You govern us. And in turn, we govern the operations of a society. But when it comes to major decisions, you make those. The impact of your voice is that national decisions shape the past, present, and future of Mortarboard. So what you vote on, what you say today in our business meeting and tomorrow in our business meeting matters. Your voice matters. Your voice counts. Part of the student voice has been involved in the historic vote of including men in the society with the advent of Title IX in the 70s. And then just last year, accepting juniors to become a junior honor society in addition to a senior honor society just last summer. And it was great to be on stage, to be the parliamentarian to help my friend Cass as national president lead that charge and lead that voice for you guys. And the robust discussion was fantastic. Empowerment. You represent your chapter's voice on a national level, and that's awesome. You are your chapter's voice. So the way that this is going to work is you get one vote per chapter. The highest ranking student officer is the official voting delegate. That's usually the president, but if the president can't make it, then it's the individual that was sent to conference as the official delegate. Um, Voting topics include bylaws changes, elections, student rep at large, student advisory board, resolutions and recommendations that are submitted by chapters or members at conference or before conference. It can vary. So we use very simplified Robert's Rules of Order, which I'm sure a lot of us know. How voting is going to work is either voice vote, a show of hands, or electronic ballot. It's just based on format. Majority rules, unless stated otherwise. Uh, Robert's Rules of Order, as we both or all know, is pretty intense, but we use a simplified version again. So, for example, point of order if rules are broken, point of information to request clarification, call the question, which is to end the debate and vote, and then to make a motion, you always say, "I move that." All motions typically require a second unless otherwise indicated, and some motions are not debatable. For example, if a motion comes out of committee, it only requires a second and not an actual vote. The chair runs the meeting and recognizes the speakers. That also includes the president of the national organization who runs the national conference. They are the chair that runs the meeting and recognizes all speakers. And if we don't have a quorum, of course, we can't vote, but a quorum is just the minimum number, of course, needed to conduct business. Um, let's just see. I'm going through my notes here. So when discussing a motion, it's important to be respectful. All voices matter, and you can agree or disagree, but it's important to stay on topic and be respectful. No personal attacks. There are time limits. You are limited to um, basically two discussions in support and two discussions against. And the chair or the president presiding over the meeting will alternate who speaks when. The only time that you're allowed to speak on a motion is the one that's currently on the floor. So if a motion has already been either disposed of or decided on, that motion cannot be brought back up from the floor. If you want to speak for or against a motion, you have to be acknowledged by the chair or the president to speak on behalf of your position. And of course, you raise your hand for a point of order, report of information, and wait for the chair to acknowledge you. It's important not to speak out of turn. Discussion will continue until there is no further discussion or someone calls the question, unless there is a time limit on the motion, which can be set by the chair or by a motion to set a time limit for debate. A couple of other clarifying issues. Um, you can ask clarifying questions. So if you don't understand what's being considered from the floor on the motion, then you can ask clarifying questions to explain that matter and that motion to you. And that could be a general question or a very specific question. For example, last summer, um, we had very intense debate over one motion that was on the floor, and we ended up having to bifurcate that motion on the floor to actually get part of it passed. So please don't think that there's any sort of idea about a stupid question because there's not. If you don't understand it, please ask. Again, don't go off topic or debate personalities instead of ideas. What's meant to be discussed is what's on the floor of the actual committee or presiding meeting. And I will say that one of my favorite um, aspects of Robert's rules is call the question. So, in the event that you are tired of listening to yourself talk or everybody else talk, please use the call the question motion to call the vote and actually move forward the motion at hand. Kirsten just put in the chat if you have any questions, add them to the chat. I'm sure all of us know a general basics on governance, but tips on being a great delegate here at conference is know your chapter stance before you vote and before you attend. I'm sure all of you probably know what your chapter supports and what they don't support. Listen actively to debate before you vote. So listen to everybody's points and then, of course, cast your ballot. Communicate back to your chapter after conference. So it's important that you take what you are doing from conference to your chapters and explain to them that you are a governing body of students that help us run the society. And then, of course, ask questions. If you don't understand something, just ask. That's all you have to do. So, any questions before we go back into the business meeting? And I promise you, AI and Google are your friends if you have any questions about Robert's Rules of Order. All right. Well, seeing none, I look forward to seeing more of y'all later today and, of course, tomorrow afternoon as well. So we'll leave the room and go back into the main session for the business meeting.